Gachagua akaambua saini ya Raila.
But I sign faster. Because before you're executed, a president has to sign it. I think that's a very heavy task. I would never ever sign someone's death sentence.
I think you
this guy we have now, you think would sign?
Yes. You made me rethink. Jowie Rungu was sentenced to death.
Yes.
I'm sure most of you have been following this case. It was a murder case of Monica Kimani. It happened in 2018. And at some point, his girlfriend then, Jackie Maribe, was also implicated
his
in this
fiancé.
case.
Let's get it straight.
Or fiancé. It was a fiancé at the time. Jackie Maribe was also implicated. And then, the death sentence happened and people were very shocked because I don't know whether the shock was based on people not knowing that Kenya actually has a death sentence still in the books.
Still has.
Or no, still has. It's
still on the books.
Still in the Constitution. According to the Constitution, it's not supposed to be there. But then she used a leeway where she says that I'm supposed to give you 35, but I'm given up to. But then life sentence goes up to 20 consecutive, and she was like, so for me to give you what I'm supposed to give you, I'm gonna give you the death sentence.
So the penal code, and this is where, like we've talked about this previously on other issues that are the penal code that are inconsistent with the Constitution. Our penal code needs to be reviewed afresh because the penal code did not change, because the penal code is a law. So that did not change. So the new Constitution came, but unfortunately there's still a lot of things in the penal code that are inconsistent with the Constitution.
Yes.
And one that has been debated is the death sentence.
Yes.
Although it has not been declared, I don't think the Supreme Court...
Null and void.
It has not been declared null and void. There's still no clarity. I know there's some cases that went to, I believe, up to the Court of Appeal. I'm not sure. Napa Pablo maybe might enlighten us a bit. There's some cases that went to the Court of Appeal. I don't know what the finality of those cases were, because this penal code of the death sentence, it's still in existence. And death penalty remains in the books for crimes such as murder, treason, and even violent robbery.
Correct.
So robbery stroke too.
Robbery
now my question
violence.
is this. When was the last time somebody was executed in Kenya?
82.
It's over 30 years ago.
It was 1987, and his name was Hezekiah Ochuka.
It was 87. That's the person I was thinking of.
So 82 was when the coup happened.
So 87 he was...
So 87 I think is when he was executed, if I'm not mistaken.
So he was on death row for at least 4 years.
No, he was
right?
going through trial. He was also
the
going
trial
through
was
trial.
82.
The coup happened in 82.
His trial was, I think, the same year.
Yeah. So he was on death row until he was executed.
Yes.
And I think that's the last group of people that was executed.
Yes.
You'll also remember historically, Dedan Kimathi was also executed. Remember that same penal code that executed Dedan Kimathi that we inherited from the British is the same penal code that came to execute
treason.
That came to execute Hezekiah Ochuka.
Yeah.
Which tells us that we need to relook at some of these laws that we inherited, because they were designed for a colonial system.
Yes.
And remember, at that time the British had in their minds that they were gonna live in Kenya forever. That was their plan.
They had come to settle.
Yeah,
they were settlers.
Yeah.
They were not colonialists.
Yeah.
They were settlers.
Back to Jowie and the death sentence. We know, he issued a death sentence in Kenya. Of course, the last person to be executed was 87. A couple of people had been executed before that.
Yes.
And then we've also had other notable death sentences of people who were served death sentences, but they've not been executed. For example, Ruth Kamande, in 2019, he was known as the Beauty Queen Killer. The one who killed the boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think these ones were... And then there was Philip Onyancha, who was a serial killer.
The serial killer.
Yeah, back in 2010. So there are people still who are getting these
Death
death sentences, but technically it
That's a
just
life
becomes
sentence.
a life sentence, because before you're executed, a president has to sign it. I think that's a very heavy task. I would never ever sign
Boss, this guy
someone's
we-
death
this
I think
sentence.
I think UK.
This guy
I
we
think,
have now, you think would sign?
yes,
You made me rethink.
I think UK commuted some to life.
UK committed
He
committed them to
committed.
life.
Ngoja nikwambia,
Committed to life.
Gachagua akaambua saini ya Raila. Hey.
But I signed faster.
Immediately. Hata ziba.
Mikake was the examples you give. See, you just calm him down, brother.
But you know that seems like something that could actually happen.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
he would sign it faster. And then
That's why some of these things need to be taken off the books.
and that's
Because you know what they could potentially do? They could say, you know what, we're going to retry this guy for treason of 82.
and that's a problem. Yeah, I know, and that's a problem.
I'm just telling you, you know, there's extreme A and extreme B. If you want to go extreme, you can go extreme.
And I think that's a problem. That's a problem of inheriting these penal codes. Most African countries have these penal codes inherited, and now countries are trying to change. And when they're trying to change them is when now you're seeing certain countries get in trouble with the US.